Welcome back to the webinar series, Chronicles from Nature's Phoenix, where co-authors Dr. Dominic Della Sala of Wild Heritage and Dr. Chad Hansen of the John Muir Project share the screen with other renowned wildfire experts. This episode, featuring expert panelists Maya Kozla, Dr. Monica Bond, and Dr. Richard Hutto, immerses viewers into the ecological insights gained from studying bird and mammal responses to severe fire in conifer forests, covered in chapters 3 and 4 of Nature's Phoenix 2nd edition.
It takes dense mixed conifer forests, uncut mixed conifer forests, with tree densities that are in the hundreds, not 6 to 10 snags per acre, like snag management guidelines tell you. We're talking hundreds of trees per acre. Look at these trees here, the Douglas fir with the woodpecker digging. They're going after beetles that come in to get the trees that are defenseless now. And so the beetles populations go through the roof. And the other thing that's interesting is the things that are most restricted to these severely burned forests tend to occur in the more severely burned portions of those forests. So look at the blackback woodpecker data here. You can go into unburned forests far from fire, and there's hardly any. Unburned near fire, a little more. Low, medium, and high severity that go through the roof.
And this is a story of high-intensity fire in shrublands and forests and grasslands, exposing seeds and creating a pulse of new plant growth and generating a superabundance of insects. This brings in bats that feed on the insects and a burst in small mammal populations like mice and gophers that eat the seeds and the herbs, and then ungulates like deer and elk that feed on the fresh, new, especially nutritious grasses and shrubs that flourish in post-fire areas. And of course, this increase in prey brings in carnivores like foxes and martens and mountain lions, which hunt in the severely burned areas. And as Dick mentioned with the birds, there are some species that temporarily decrease right after fire because they prefer to live in areas with more dense cover. But as the vegetation regrows, those species recover in time. And overall, though, there are many more species that thrive in the most severely burned landscapes immediately and for several years after fire. And of course, as long as we humans do not tamper or interfere with the natural successional processes.
My search for mammals in post-fire forests followed a pretty detailed black-backed woodpecker study led by Chad Hansen and Tanya Chi. And we were out there looking for signs of blackbacks and found, of course, inevitably the richness of post-fire forests that you've been seeing and hearing about in the previous two presentations. This particular forest and all of the forests I'm going to share with you may show you some live trees in the distance, some live trees in the foreground, and inevitably there is a patch that has burned intensely where most of the trees turn into snags, highly productive spaces, what I call housing complexes for the wild. And in fact, you might look at this and think, of course, now you're probably rethinking how you look at snags, I'm hoping. And in this case, what you're looking at is a little snag patch very close to Atkinson Meadow in Stanislaus National Forest. This is the type of beauty that and persistent habitat that you'll see. But that's the kind of place where I thought, why not go figure out how many mammals are using this?
The second edition of Mixed Severity Fires, Nature's Phoenix, takes a deeper look at wildfire as a crucial ecological process that has shaped plant and animal communities for over 400 million years. It explores how ecosystems like forests and chaparral thrive after fires, much like Nature's Phoenix rising from the ashes. This edition also discusses how climate change is contributing to more intense fires in places, how logging interacts with and amplifies wildfire climate impacts, and highlights the urgent need to protect communities from wildfires at the point of impact, homes, instead of backcountry logging that does nothing to reduce home losses.